KHQA This Morning. It's your news now.
I don't know. Kristen Aguirre is live in Quincy this morning.
Yeah, Kristen, what are you up to?
Good morning, Chad. Did you forget how to say my name? It's Kristen Aguirre. Well, I'm here at Johnwood Community College learning about a unique class that kicks off tomorrow. Can you guess what it is? Tweet me out your answer. I'll have the answer coming up after the break. You're watching KHQA This Morning.
You mentioned we have one on YouTube. The person kind of behind that spearheaded that was Kristen Aguirre. And she joins us now live from Quincy. What are you up to, Kristen?
Hey, Kristen.
If you go to our website and you look at it, this is the dance I have going on. It's pretty good. We all look pretty good. Well, if you haven't guessed, we are learning how to brew your own beer from home. With me now is Leonard Rosencrantz, and we're here at Johnwood Community College, and you guys are offering this class here.
Right.
So
Go ahead.
Well, how long have you guys been offering it?
This is probably the third year that we've offered the class.
And what made you guys kind of get this started?
Well, I brewed for many years and learned a lot about brewing, and I just wanted to share it. So I contacted John Wood, and I think they had a class once before, and they were excited to provide a place for us to do that.
Now, how did you get into this?
Well, I started a dozen years ago and just found a book and started brewing beer, and over the years I've read a lot and learned a lot from the internet and gotten better at it. First beers were pretty bad, but now they're good, and I want to help other people make good beer.
Now you're a pro. So what is the course like?
Well, our first week we have a little bit of book learning. After that we do a demo. Every week we do a demo. Second week will be a little more involved. The third week we're going to the local homebrew store, Max Homebrew on North 5th, and we're going to do a demo there and have a tasting. And then the last week is the beer appreciation part. We're going to O'Griff's and we do a brewery tour, and then taste some of their beers, and I show the students how to judge a beer.
All right. Well, I'm going to learn how to. I'm going to take a mini course here. Unfortunately, I will not be tasting any of the beer, but we will be learning how to brew it. And coming up later in the show, we will dive in here and show you how you can get involved in the class too.
And O'Griff's has a lot of their own homebrewed beers. They have strawberry, blueberry.
Kristen Aguirre is out and about in Quincy this morning.
Yeah, Kristen, how's the home brewing going?
Oh, it's going good. We are getting ready to dive in right now. So first thing is first. Now, what are the components in home brewing?
All right. First of all, you have your malt, your malted barley, or you can buy malted barley sugar already mashed and dried, and there's several products you can get there. And then there's also hops, and those are added as a preservative and for bittering and for flavor and aroma. And then you have to have your yeast, of course, to ferment, and you have dry yeasts or liquid yeasts. And pretty much the only other thing you need is a fermenter and a pot big enough to hold your brew while you boil it up. So.
And all of these components will be given out in the class?
We'll do demos each week, so I get stuff from the local homebrew store and cook it up in front of everybody and have them help like you're going to help today.
Okay,
so they'll get to see how it's done, see what it looks like, and ask questions. So always lots of questions.
First thing I need to do is
we'll take our steeping grains out that we've kind of you can just put it in there, and then add your dry malt sugar. Yeah, pour that in and then stir it up, and then we'll boil it with our hops.
It smells like we're cooking food.
The malt sugar is what they used to put in a milkshake to make a malt instead of
I like this process already.
Milkshake
and beer.
Yeah.
All right, well, coming up later in the show, we are going to continue to dive into this home brewing and show you what you need to do to join the class that kicks off tomorrow.
Milkshake and beer?
Well, it's the malt.
I know, but she said that sounds good. Milkshake and beer. I don't know about that.
Depends on how much beer you've had before you get the milkshake.
Ah, there you go.
I guess. All right, we're going to check in again with Kristen Aguirre, who is live out and about this morning in Q-Town.
How's it going, Kristen?
It's going good. We are beer is brewing, and now we're going on to our next step. So what should I do
All right,
next?
now you'll add your hops.
Okay, so
You
just
have
throw
some
them in
hop
there.
pellets, just throw it all in there.
Should
And we're going to
both
boil those hops, and that'll add bitterness and some floral flavor to the beer and some aroma.
And you said this is kind of the critical part, correct?
Well, it's important to get your timing right on the hops. And we're going to boil this for close to an hour, maybe not for this demo, but that's what you normally do. And then you can add more at 15 minutes and 5 minutes.
And we wanted it to boil, but not boil over. That's kind of
Right,
the crucial
yeah.
part too.
Yes.
Okay. And
People get mad when you make a mess on the stove with sugar water, so.
Thank goodness I don't work here.
Right.
So, okay, and then we said you could smell it. It smells like cooking. It doesn't smell like beer.
It's right. Right now, it's a sugar solution. It's kind of like making candy. The yeast will take that sugar and convert a lot of it to alcohol, and then your beer won't be sweet, but it'll have some alcohol in it, and that gives certain flavors too. So.
And in the break, you added, what was it that you added? That syrup?
Some candy syrup, Belgian candy syrup. It's a product from Belgium. If you're going to make a Belgian beer, you want to get all the Belgian products you can. So this stuff is made of beet sugar, and it's cooked down into like a syrup, and it's very tasty.
And then that will be converted when it's fermented into
Also
the actual alcohol.
into alcohol as well.
All right, well, coming up later in the show, we are going to continue to dive into our home brewing, and we're going to show you a little bit about why sanitation is so important.
I know sanitation's important.
Yes, you
in
do.
Everything.
Kristen Aguirre.
We're out and about this morning in Quincy.
Yes, she's making some beer. How's it going, Kristen?
Good morning. Yes, we have our beer brewing over here, so it's already boiling and getting goodness over here. And now we have our fermenter here. But one of the big important aspects of this before we get the process going is actually sanitation.
Right. So we're boiling the beer, and that kills all the microorganisms in that material. So it's basically sterilized. But we have our food grade fermenter, and that can be a glass carboy, or in this case a food grade plastic bucket for our small batch. And so what we're going to need to do first is to make sure it's clean, because you can't sanitize dirt if there's stuff stuck on it. But take my word for it, I cleaned it out properly before we brought it in this morning. So now we're going to take our sanitizer solution.
And can you just use any solution, or?
Well, you can use a dilute bleach, or this is a product designed specifically for brewing.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually squirt that on there. It kills wild yeast and microorganisms that might compete with your yeast that you add and make off flavors. So we'll squirt around the sides of that and just make sure it's all coated, and we'll let it set.
I'm sure Chad is loving this because he is a big sanitizer at the station. So I'm sure he's pretty happy that we're sanitizing this bucket really good.
Yes.
Why and sanitation is important when anybody's cooking up anything, but why is it so important, especially for the beer process?
Well, for beer, you know, once that sugar solution is cooled, it's a great substrate for any microorganism to fall in there and start to eat it and multiply. So you don't want wild yeast that are floating around in the air to get in there and make beer for you. You want to use, you know, the commercial yeast product that came from a commercial brewery initially. You want to give it the best chance of out-competing everything else. So.
All right, well, I'm going to continue to sanitize our bucket here, and coming up later in the show, we are going to continue to get our beer brewing.
I'm sorry, did she mispronounce my name?
I think she did. I know where she was going, but it sounded like she said Paige, but she started to say your Twitter handle.
Yes, interesting, which is KHQA Chad, by the way. I mispronounced her name earlier in the show because we talked about Kirstie Alley, and then we talked to Kristen Aguirre.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us, doesn't it, Aguirre? She's where she is today,
Right.
the college, but she's doing completely something different.
Yes, she's
than
making
auditioning.
beer.
Yeah.
How's it going, Kristen?
Good morning. Yep, we are getting an inside look to Johnwood Community College's home brewing class that kicks off tomorrow. So all morning we've kind of had our beer cooking here. So what is our next step?
All right, now we're going to take the hops out, and we're going to chill our beer, our wort, as they call the sugar. So we'll fish this bag of
And these are the
Hops out.
And you actually grew these in your
I grew
your
some
garden.
hops this last summer.
They smell very good. They kind of have a citrusy, a little bit of citrusy note, and they can come in a variety of flavors, you were saying, right? Or notes.
Right.
So
All
now
right.
we take it off.
So we'll do that, and we'll take it off, and we're going to do this very simple way and just put it in a sink with some cold water around it, and that'll cool it down to room temperature so that it doesn't kill our yeast when we add our yeast.
And so after it's cooled down, what is the next process?
We'll add it to our fermenter, and we'll add our yeast, which this is a Belgian yeast that's specifically for this style of beer, and we'll let that ferment for about 2 weeks, and then we'll be ready to bottle. And so when you go to bottle, you can use your 2-liter bottles or 1-liter bottles or swing top like a Grolsch bottle, or you can use a plain beer bottle and a capper. And so if you want to
Ooh, how do we do
cap
this?
a beer, or in this case a
Cap some
bottle of water,
Okay.
just stick it right under there, and then we'll put it down and then push down hard. There you go.
That's it?
That's it. And
Yes.
pull it up, and there's a bottle of beer. You can tip it over and
There you go. Here's our
prove
bottle
that
of water.
it was good.
All right, well, coming up later in the show, we have some last-minute details that you need to know if you want to take part in this class.
If she had 98 more bottles, she could write a little song.
Or just sing it.
Kristen Aguirre live in Quincy this morning.
Yeah, Kristen is making some homebrew beer. How's it going, Kristen?
Good morning. Yep, we have our beer right here. We've been making all morning, and it's fermenting. Now, how long is it going to be in there?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well,
2
if
weeks.
people want to get an inside look at to the process that we did today, they can take your class.
Right, and that registration's still open, and it starts tomorrow night. It's about 2 hours, and it goes 4 weeks on Thursday nights.
And if they're unable to take your class, you guys also have a club.
Right, the Hannibal Area Homebrewers Association is a small but active club, and we meet at different members' houses once a month, except in the summer months when everybody's kind of busy. So, you know, we're still open for new members to join that too, and a lot of times I'll get a couple of members from the class, people that take the class.
Now, what's your favorite part about homebrewing?
Well, I like learning about things. You know, I mean, I do hobbies just to learn stuff, and homebrewing, there's a lot to learn about it, a lot of different beer styles, cooking methods for the beers. So, you know, that's one of the big reasons why I do it. And then also the people, you know, and interacting with them and brewing together is always fun. So.
And the final product.
Yes. Can't deny that the product of this hobby is, you know, keeps you as warm as a quilt. So.
Well, registration is still open for Leonard's class, and for more details, you can go ahead and check out our website, connecttristates.com.
All right, thank you, Kristen.
Very interesting. And you can, when you make your own home brewed beer,